Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac Weather. My name is Christopher Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart each day and walk in the light. It is always a pleasure to walk with you. It's raining here in Southern California, so I'm in my home studio, Lovecasting Live, in 5 dimensions on Friday. Thank God it's Friday, May 15th, 2015, and I'm bringing you into this little magical post-production wonderland of what it's like to be here in a raining Southern California. And as we approach our rainy weekend, step 24 rules the day. Now, step 24 is, to some degree, a tested step. It's a step to see, is this going to work or is this not going to work? You should know that the end result is to receive. So we're opening up to receiving today. But the hard part might be that what we believe or where we believe we belong is, in fact, where we don't belong. So it's kind of one of those wonk, 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 wonk if it goes wrong, right? If it goes right, you feel great. You know this is the right path, and you can accept and receive and move forward. Now, we're on countdown to a new moon on Sunday. So basically, today, tomorrow, and early Sunday, we are beta testing whether or not this is the reality that we want to create. And I know for myself, I'm a Taurus. I am still at the very last minute, like shopping for presents the night before Christmas. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to manifest. So if you feel a little confused about it, don't feel bad. I think a lot of us are kind of question mark. Also, like I reported, Mercury goes retrograde sometime late Monday, which means we're going to probably come to one of two conclusions. Either this is it or this isn't it, back to the drawing board. Either way, Mercury retrograde is going to be us exploring the fact that, okay, this is it, let's get ready, or, oh, this isn't it, let's go figure out what wasn't working. But before we dive in deep in how to manifest Lightcast Weekend, let's first tame our brain, shall we, with the phrase of today. I feel my passion today, and I'm ready for where it belongs. I feel my passion, and I'm ready for where it belongs. Now, this step I kind of liken to a mother who's sending their child off to school for the first time. It's like you have to, with love, let go and see if it works, you know? So this is where you accept where your passion belongs. For one, we want to be very clear on what our passion is. I have a passion for making this happen. I have a passion for seeing if this can work. I have a passion for this relationship. So we know what our passion is. That's what we keep in, the left hemisphere of our brain. Then on the second one, we say basically, I'm ready for where it belongs. So we prepare ourselves to go to somewhere we can't tell where it is right now. We prepare ourselves to be taken to where the truth is. And if you work with me and you walk with me each day, you know that belonging is based on the law of attraction. The law of attraction is based on the heart. So when you say, I'm ready for where it belongs, you're saying, hey, I give it up to the universe to let it be wherever it is attracted by law of love and by law of attraction. That's in essence what you're saying. So let's say it one more time to keep it fresh in our mind. Today and through the weekend, I feel my passion, and I am ready for where it belongs. And so it is. Because I said so, I thought so. Well, the ruling step of the day is step 24, and that actually adds up to a 6. I6 is I receive. So when we enter into a 6, we're able to open up. And many of us, most of us, are programmed to really not be able to open up in a place we don't belong. That's just a natural instinct of all human beings on earth. So it's difficult to open up if you're in a place where you don't belong. You know this, whether it's in public or whatever. Sometimes we have nerves and whatnot, but sometimes our soul knows we just don't belong here. So the 2 + 4 = 6 equation is when your feelings are in a place they don't belong, the 6 won't happen. You will not be able to give and receive. When it does, and the 4 is correct, you can give and receive. So looking at the architecture of incarnation, the 4, which is what I call the keystone step, the key step into making today happen. The 4 happens, of course, 3 times over the course of a transit, right? In the first instance, 4 is deciding whether or not we're in the right reality or not. So that's kind of the beta test of how much work is to be done in each transit. This is the classic breakdown day, and people usually have a shifty day that starts the day before all the way to the next day when it's a step 4 day. Then in the second dimension, step 14, this is when we're trying to understand, we can't wrap our mind around a particular topic or realization of why. And so we're really throwing out there our feelings to see where they belong, and aha, eureka. But we are in the master step now of step 24. And step 24 is where you see a lot of profound, brilliant artists, a lot of creative artists, musicians, graphic artists are step 24 personalities, because they take what they're feeling, the two, and then they add some sort of weird innovation, something that belongs but doesn't. And this comes down to be beautiful art 6, and this is the kind of art that kind of disrupts people. So today, to some degree, this 4 might be a bit disruptive. This is a truth. When you find out the truth of belonging, it might be disruptive in the sense of, oh my gosh, I was right. And it might be disruptive in the sense of, oh my gosh, I was wrong. But what you're looking for is to throw it out there on the craps table, so to speak, and say, okay, this is what my heart wants. Let's see if there's any takers and see if it actually works. And if you add to the 6 and you can actually open up an exchange, it's working. So let's look at the colors and the chakras involved with belonging.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Okay, so looking at the chakras and the colors, as you well know, we're in orange. We're trying to manifest, and we have Lightcast Day on Sunday, which is when we kind of send out to the universe our wish for what we want to manifest. So the new moon is the day when the universe gets started on growing the consciousness. So orange is what we're building up to, and orange gets to its climax of power basically on that new moon, is what I'm saying. So breathe through the orange, and if you don't know, orange is I love and I trust. So if you want to kind of tune your orange, you want to love and trust yourself, the more you love and trust yourself, the more you empower your ability to manifest. Now, moving on up to the next color, it is yellow. When we're in the 20s, any step 20 and beyond, it is about yellow. And as I've said before, yellow is passion, thoughts and ideas, but very much emotion, which is all of our soul in motion. And so it's important to bring our emotion up to the table and feel really good in our solar plexus. So if you have heebie-jeebies in your solar plexus, you want to take a second look at that before you test your reality on the burner today, right? And then we open up to violet. Now violet is where I belong energy actually is. It's I belong and I sense up there at the very top. And so our violet chakra is opening up, and this is what I liken to like the blue light special in Kmart, except God uses violet light special. So when we are out there wanting to belong, we're like flashing up there, I think, in the purple, sending out little flashes and saying, hey, where is the mate for the one who can build this, or the one who can love me, or the one who can have a baby with me, or whatever it is. We're out there. Because at the end of the day, when we do manifest, it's another human being that shows up that helps us, no matter what it is. Even if you have money, you're still looking for the right human being, right? So today we kind of light up our purple light special, and that's when we give it to the universe. So once you're kind of solid in your orange and in your yellow, you kind of throw it up to the purple, and you kind of wait to see what you law of attract. So let's take a look now at the timing for the whole weekend and light casting with the cosmic clock. And here we are with the cosmic clock. Well, like I said, the sun has progressed to step 24 today. Step 24 is when we feel it, and we allow our feelings to take us to where we belong. And ideally that adds up to a 6, which is Venus. We'll check on her in just a second. And so if things do work, our Venus will open up. First, though, let's look at Mercury. Mercury is slowing down for the retrograde, and the retrograde happens late Monday. Like I said, we're in step 12 for one more day. Mercury will be step 13, incidentally, for the new moon this weekend, which means that'll be a quantum mind breakthrough. So whatever it is we finally arrive to, it'll be quantum. But today we're still trying to love and feel what might fit for us, and we're using our mind to scan that. Now, Venus herself is at step 8. Step 8 is I decide. So today, in the next 24 hours, we're going to decide where it is we want to receive from. See how it all lines up? Isn't that amazing, right? So we will decide by whether or not this 4 we're throwing onto this, the refrigerator sticks or not. And Venus is ready to make that decision. Now, she will go to step 9 and in preparation for step 10, of course, as we are manifesting. So she is right in tune. Now, don't forget, our feelings are also quite psychic. Neptune is trining into Venus right now. So when you listen, you're receiving psychic information, and you are receiving information about your feelings now in the moment. How do you tell the difference? You just ask your feelings. You just say, hey, is this past life or is this now? And you'll get an answer. So ask to make sure you differentiate. But the important thing is sometimes our psychic awareness with Neptune is also telling us things that you would not otherwise know. In fact, I wish I had the time to share with you a little miracle I received, but my guides literally told me to go on Craigslist right now. And I did, and I was like, oh my God, there's something I was looking for. So listen to your intuition, listen to that emotion today, and Venus is lined up. Venus is also opposing Pluto, and it's important to note that whatever your feelings do come down to, it could very well go against your original rules you have lived by for a long time, plans you had made for a long time. This is not surprising. Pluto in Capricorn is rather radical. And I've told people for a long time, once Pluto goes through a sign like Capricorn, the mountain's shape changes. So it doesn't matter what you may have planned up until now in your life. If the earth changes, you have to go along with that change, right? Kind of like California not having water right now. So I'm so grateful for the rain today. Now Mars is at step 2, Gemini once again. And I describe this as kind of like the Walla Walla energy. So our mind is all Walla Walla right now. Lots of activity going on, lots of conversation. But we are directly opposing Saturn in Sagittarius. So what that means is that there is a lot of back and forth going on that probably goes into the decision of what you want to manifest, goes into the decision of where you want to receive. And this is a back and forth between your mind's current thinking, right, and your aggressiveness, Mars, just adding a lot of impatience and get it done now energy, versus what you should do, versus what your theories have been, versus what you have believed. So you can see we are really being kind of unraveled at a core thread here by undoing a certain belief we might have lived by, or several beliefs, and undoing certain rules that we might have decided or thought were going to be for our life. Lots of change. Now the moon today is actually in Aries on countdown for the new moon, and it is today trining Jupiter. That means that we're really being filled mostly with our heart and where we feel like we belong. Jupiter is at step 13. That adds to a 4 where we belong. And so that means it is time to surrender and go with whatever that is. So we are moving down that path, right? And trying to listen to our heart for where we belong. My suggestion is to listen to your heart and listen to your emotions with the moon in Aries. The moon will transition into Taurus and things will get very quiet. So this rainy kind of transit is quite appropriate, this rainy atmosphere, because you're going to feel kind of quiet and rainy probably as soon as the sun sets in your local region. Then finally, Pluto. We have this yod with Pluto, and this is really, if you need permission to change the rules, this is it right here. God is giving us a yod, which is the finger, right? And this is basically saying taking the new love for yourself and where you feel your heart really belongs, and basically taking your mind that's been arguing with the other side of yourself and point that mind towards making new rules and point that heart towards the permission to make new rules. So this is the permission to make new rules for yourself, okay? Say, you know what? I know this was the rule, but I'm going to go ahead and just say, no, I'm changing the rules because I can, because I said so, and so it is. And when you create reality, you have that. So I can't underscore it enough. If you feel blocked in life, it may be because you're living by a rule that you think you have to, but God says you don't. All right? And that's where we start to get into real re-evolution inside. So looking at the Tower of Truth today on Friday, the sun is at step 24 and the moon is in the high degrees of Aries. And so we are basically kind of amping up our courage to change and make a big change in our life. In the Tower of Truth for Gemini, Mars is aggravating the lower cultures of our mind, that is at step 2 Gemini, and Mercury is slowing down at step 12. The step differential is 10, so that means that in our mind, we are framing up and manifesting reality. Now on Saturn Day, Saturday will be a very cloudy day, perhaps rainy again here in Southern California, because step 25 rules the day. That is, of course, a spiritual step. That's when our mind finally gets on board with our feelings. And see, our feelings today through tomorrow are feeling out whether or not this is the reality we want to have for ourselves. Once we feel that it is or isn't, our mind is on board or isn't on board. And then we open up 7, our psychic sense, 2 plus 5 makes 7, and we listen to God for further instructions, or we listen to our gut for further instructions. So Saturday is very much the countdown to the new moon, and it's a very quiet and spiritual day. Then on Sunday, step 26 will rule the day, and step 26 is I commit. Now, the moon will be basically in the early degrees of Taurus all through Saturday. So when we're meditating and we're being spiritual, we're very kind of mellow in the Taurus energy, very grounded. On Sunday, the moon moves, of course, towards those high degrees, and it looks like at 12:13 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday morning. So it's Monday morning, very early Eastern, or around 9:13 p.m. Pacific, Sunday night. That's when the new moon happens. So Sunday is a build-up all day to the moon. And on Sunday, what you're doing is you're basically committing to what works. 2 plus 6. 6 is what is working for receiving. So when you figure out what works, you commit to it. And if you want a deadline, I will text you if you're in your Sirius Joy. But otherwise, the deadline is 9:13 p.m. Pacific time, Sunday night. You want to make sure you've committed to what your reality will be. Now, I just want to point out the Gemini Tower of Truth on Sunday. Mercury will be at step 13. So the mind reaches step 13 and then retrogrades the next day. Can you believe that? Mars will be at step 4. So as you can see, our mind will be at the 2 volatile step degrees on Sunday when we do have the new moon. This is the actual step from the new moon. Venus isn't pictured here, but she's at step 11, which means we are receiving integrity. And so it is a dynamic reality that we build. Whatever it is we cast off on Sunday, however you go to bed on Sunday, you are beginning some sort of dynamic new re-evolution, some sort of change, right? And the differential on the Gemini there is 9, which means on Sunday, it's go time. The differential just on Friday was 10, remember? So cool. So let's take a look at today's Joy Quest and find our focus for the light casting. Your Joy Quest, should you choose to accept it, is be honest with your heart this weekend. Go with what really flows. All right? So this is all about surrendering to the belonging. You may not know what you want to manifest. You may not know how you're going to do it. But the formula for success seems to be honest with your heart, first of all, about what it does want to be and what it doesn't. And if you don't know what it does, be honest about what it doesn't. That is like the first step. You know, they say in SATs or big tests, eliminate what you know is wrong. That's true in reality too. So if you're completely confused, well, at least be honest with what your heart doesn't want. And then, of course, be honest about what your heart does. And that's where you start from. And then secondly, when you have options in front of you, which I think many of us do have options, this is Taurus, and so we are manifesting our new reality, and most of us have options. We may not like the options, but we have them. Well, in the options, if you have to make a choice, commit to what flows. Commit to the easiest going path for you, because you can manifest something greater out of something easy going. But if you step into something very challenging or that puts you behind from the beginning or puts you in severe debt, then you're already committing to struggle. That's not what flows, and that is not, in the architecture of incarnation, what's best for you. So Sensei says, listen to your heart and be honest this weekend and commit to what flows. So speaking of Sensei, for those who are watched over in my personal Sensei network, at 9:09 I'm going to text you where I dare you to change your life right now. I dare you to change your life in this place. And then at 11:11 a.m. I'm going to actually talk to you about where in your life you will always be daring. So there's a place where you're always daring based on your Uranus placement. I'll talk about where you will always be daring, basically giving you permission to do so. And then I will give you at 3:03 p.m. what in your life you will always be daring about. So where you'll be daring and what you'll be daring about. Those are your extra special Witecks today. Now, if you'd like to join the Personal Sensei Network, we can have you up and live in 36 hours. Come on down to SeriousStory.me. There's a little video that explains how the service works, and if you don't know, you can cancel at any time, incidentally. So let's move on to today's telepathy. We are chugging on down the Taurus lane. We're almost in Gemini, but there's so many great Tauruses to explore. And today the Taurus topic is, we're looking at Taurus comedy writers. So Tauruses often make good comedy writers and performers, and even funny just naturally in person. These are particular comedy writers who've done well in the Taurus world. Am I thinking of, number one, Tina Fey, the first female writer for Saturday Night Live. Not the first female writer, but head writer, I mean. Number two, Al Franken, one of the original writers for Saturday Night Live. Or number three, Nora Ephron, who was the writer of many films like When Harry Met Sally. Which of these three Taurus comedy writers am I thinking of? I'll have the answer for you right after this.
Introducing Secrets of Birthdays. Bow chicka bow wow. Are you ready to find love? Bow chicka bow wow. Your secrets are coming out. Bow chicka bow wow. All those sexy secrets are available at secretsofbirthdays.com. Bow chicka bow wow, baby.
And welcome back to Namaste today. So for the answer to today's telepathy, from my temple to yours, I am thinking of one of these three Taurus funny writers. Which one of these writers was I thinking of? Was it number 1, Tina Fey, number 2, Al Franken, or number 3, Nora Ephron? And the answer is Tina Fey. I have a special little heart pat for Tina Fey, especially knowing that Tina Fey is actually a step 27 Taurus, which is a 9. So I add up to a 9. I'm a step 18. So Tina Fey's like the kind of 9 I'd like to be one day when I grow up. She's got her shift together. Obviously, one of the first head writers, or the first female head writer of Saturday Night Live, which is really cool. And since then, she's done a lot of things. She did 30 Rock. But I'll just say, as a fan, that my favorite work that she did was Mean Girls. I don't know if you saw the movie Mean Girls. She wrote that film. And boy, she's got a twisted sense of humor when she lets it out. I thought it was amazing. It's funny. And well done by the cast. Very Disney-like, but cute. So let's move on to today's rock and roll gospel. We are going to look at some more Taurus musicians before we tamper out here on our Taurus. And today I've chosen a Taurus that's going to help you with the yellow chakra. And I actually kind of gave a little foreshadow to this yesterday. I am speaking to Donovan. Do you know Donovan? Donovan was born May 10th, 1946. Definitely kind of, I guess I would describe him as a folk singer, basically. One of those folk singers that kind of talked us into our hearts back in the day. And he's born May 10th, which is Mother's Day, a day after me, so no wonder I kind of manifest with him. Like, I totally dig him. But he's a Grandmaster Taurus. Step 19 is a Grandmaster, so he's got it down, obviously. And the song I have chosen, which is super, I think, perfect for the weekend with the rain and what we're manifesting, is Mellow Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sing the whole song here, okay? But there is a really weird lyric in that song. I was looking at the lyrics. It's like, I've got electrical bananas. What is electrical bananas? What is that? So funny. But before you go off in Mellow Yellow, let's take a look at the modes of each of your brothers and sisters and a special soul vitamin. And for your special soul vitamin, I'm going to give you what you'll be light casting on Sunday. So before you fall asleep on Sunday, make sure you're clear on what this is. This is what you'll be light casting on Sunday in the order of the 11 steps of Sirius Joy, starting with the secret step, step zeros, the Scorpios. Scorpios, sunny with a chance of cranky today, but through the weekend you become sentimental, and you are now manifesting a new partnership program. So a new way of partnering with the Scorpios. Step 1, the Leos, sunny and quite passionate today and professional through the weekend. That's because you were manifesting a new career direction or a shift in what your legacy will be. Step 2, the Cancers, sunny and professional today, but through the weekend you'll be quite social because you are manifesting a new social reputation or a new sense of belonging. So it could be as simple as a new neighborhood. Step 3, the Sagittariuses, sunny and heartfelt today. Try to keep it positive if you can there, Sagittarius. You are manifesting a new daily lifestyle and way of being in the moment on Sunday. Step 4, the Aquariuses, sunny with a chance of mental, if you know my Aquarians, but over the weekend you are manifesting a new emotional foundation, or it could also be a new home as well. Step 5, the Geminis, cloudy chance of irritability today, probably because over the weekend you were manifesting higher faith in yourself. Step 6, the Librans, sunny and sentimental today, but over the weekend you are manifesting self-transformation. Step 7, the Pisces, sunny and valuable today and through tomorrow, and over the weekend you're manifesting a new attitude or new connections. Could also come out in the form of new legal contracts, by the way. Step 8, the Capricorns, sunny, nesting, and resting today, but over the weekend, manifesting new love, wishes, or dreams of the heart. Step 9, the Aries, Sunny and cool today, and through the weekend, they're going to be productive because they're manifesting values and abundance. Step 10, the birthday Tauruses. Sunny chance of irritable today, but sunny and cool through the weekend. That's because you were manifesting a new action plan that leads to new character. And finally, step 11s, the Virgos. Sunny and detached today, and rather kind of zoned out through the weekend, but you are manifesting a new life purpose. So taking a look at our Lightwalker Parade. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. I thank you ahead of time. Helps us with our YouTube reputation and our relationship with them. So I'm trying to say, I guess the reputation would be our relationship. And of course, on Facebook, you can be our friend at soulgarden.me. And this is the final weekend. If you'd like to buy a 1-hour reading and get a free 30-minute follow-up, I guess Mercury's already retrograding my mouth, come on down to soulmart.me. And of course, you can join the Personal Sensing Network at any time. Your service will start in about 36 hours. Come on down to SiriusJoy.me if you like more details about that. And I do want to remind you that I love you and I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back on Monday, perhaps in the studio. I think it's time to kind of catch up on shows. I'm tired of being just right before deadline. But nonetheless, I'll be back at your soul service on Monday. Have a fabulous Lightcast day. Remember, I love you. Go with what flows and live love.
This is just so ironic.
So